let's talk a little bit about installing Secure Shell on Linux. Now, for those of you who have used Linux a lot before, you know that that statement probably doesn't sound right, because most Linux distributions already have SSH included during a default installation in its default packages. So you really don't have to quote-unquote install SSH on Linux. Usually OpenSSH or another open source variant is installed on your Linux distribution depending upon the Linux distribution you have and how much you've played with it. Now, you can still download, if you like, and install another version of SSH, or you can install another client or a GUI SSH client or a GUI SSH server configuration program, for example, or any other SSH add-on if you want. So there is still some installation you can do in Linux, even though really you don't need to. I mean, you can go with the basic SSH that is installed with your Linux distribution. Now, SSH on Linux can be installed by various means, pretty much the same way you would install any other program or application or utility on Linux. You can install it from its source files. Usually those will be in a tarball, and you download those, untar the tarball, and then compile them. You can also install those from, say, a Red Hat package file, like an RPM file if you like. You can also use your favorite Linux distribution's built-in software manager, and that's kind of what we're going to show you in a second with OpenSUSE 11. We're going to use the built-in software manager. But there are many different ways you can do it, and really it depends a lot on your particular favorite Linux distribution and what you want to install exactly, such as a GUI SSH client or a GUI SSH server daemon manager, so forth. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to install it on Linux, on OpenSUSE 11 specifically. We're in our OpenSUSE 11 box. Specifically, we're at computer A, and what I want to do really quickly is show you basically that SSH really is installed on Linux by default. I have not installed anything additional onto this box as far as SSH goes, and if you just type in SSH at the terminal prompt, you can get basically the options that you would use with SSH. So you've got it installed. Okay. You can also, if you like, use the info command to get these options, or some people like to use the help command to get these same options, or you can also use the man pages to get more information on how to use SSH, and in this case in particular we're using OpenSSH. So you can get information using the man pages as well. What I want to show you is a little bit about how Linux is installed on here. We're going to go to YAST on the OpenSUSE box. Now, depending upon the Linux distribution that you use, of course, this will look a little bit differently. My favorite happens to be OpenSUSE, so I use OpenSUSE and as such use YAST. If you're using Debian or Red Hat or Mandriva or some other Linux distribution, your interface may vary, but it still should give you basically a way to look at the software installed on the box, and that's what we're going to look at right now. I'm going to look at software management, and it's going to look at all the repositories I have loaded on the system and tell me exactly kind of what I have loaded on the box. And this way I'll be able to say kind of this is what I want to look at and this is what I want to see what's loaded. So we're going to get that come up now. And the first thing I want to do is look at the installed software. And I'm just going to do a search on SSH. And what we have here is a list of the SSH software that's installed currently on the box. And as you can see, there is a couple of things here installed, but let's look at the SSH client itself. We're using OpenSSH, and it tells me what version and so forth I'm using. Now I have different options as to download it, reinstall it, or remove it. So I can get rid of it and reinstall a different one if I like. Now I want to look at the available packages on there, and what I'm going to look at basically is thumb through here and kind of see what's available to me. And there's all kinds of things available for me for use with the SSH, including the SSH file system and in this case a yes to SSH daemon server configuration, a GUI server configuration for SSH, and I can use that on OpenSUSE. Let's go ahead and install that, and it's going to go out and look at the different packages I have available to me. Let's go ahead and apply, and it's going to go out and grab that and install it. And it's going to write the configuration files that I need. Now all this you can also do through the command line. You don't have to do it through a GUI. For those of you who really like command line a lot better than you like graphical interfaces. But in OpenSUSE and in most Linux distributions, you can do this either way. You can install it through the GUI, and you can also install it through the command line. So you can replace your SSH configuration completely. You can see what's loaded. You can also install add-ons, such as I just did, the SSH YAST configuration manager. So it's actually pretty easy to do this in Linux, although keep in mind you don't have to do anything at all. SSH is installed in most distributions. Now, if you played with the package selection during the installation of your particular Linux distribution, you may have taken this out, or you may have changed to a different one. And then usually if you're doing those things, if you're changing it during the installation, then you probably know what you're doing anyway. But if for some reason you don't have SSH installed on your Linux distribution that you're using, then it's possible that you took out that package when you were selecting packages for installation, or something went wrong during the installation. In either case, it's very easy to install this after the fact, or upgrade to a different version, or go to a totally different client, and so forth. So it's actually very easy to do this in Linux, and you really don't have to do much of anything at all.